Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Carol. I'm an author, a healer, a fairy whisperer, and a gatekeeper to everything magical. And I just want to welcome you today and want you to know that I am sending you my love and my blessings in this incredible time of change right now on our planet. And I've been asked to speak to you today and on several different media channels about the element of fire, the fire fae, and most particularly the phoenix, who has been coming forward quite a bit for me since the new moon. So, before we get into all of that, I would really like to know how you are all doing, and you can let me know in the comments since this is not a live. There is so much going on that we have to be thinking about right now. And even if we have unplugged from the media and don't watch it often or ever, I'm sure there are people in each of our lives that are keeping us abreast of what is going on. And it can be a time that just makes you think, what is going on? How are people being so wild, uncontrolled? And this is where the element of fire comes in. When you think of fire, be honest. What are the traits that you associate with fire right now? They are saying most people think of combustibility, of passion, of uncontrolled ferocity. And what I'm here today is to bring forth the concept and the idea that as we are shifting, the element of fire is shifting to 5D as well. So it has very different traits than we were used to in 3D. So once again, they want me to drive home that we are now a fourth dimensional planet. This happened back during the solstice. Now, as a result, everything has changed as far as what we do, what we think. So our thoughts, which were always powerful, are now heightened to such an extent that if we put any kind of fear or uncertainty behind a thought, a goal, a wish, that will manifest rapidly. And the same thing, if you are seeing something on television or within another person that immediately ignites anger, fire within you, that is something that manifests like that. And you can be in that fiery state and then suddenly draw to you more of that fiery state. Someone is driving by you on the freeway and you two get into a bit of road rage, all because you had initiated something, seeing something on television, you speaking with someone that made you angry. But that fire, that anger is instantly magnified. Now they're saying, what if, on the other hand, you get into one of those situations where someone is yelling at you? You know intuitively this is not about you, this is about the healing that is going on within them. At that moment, you can breathe easier and realize that the fire element and elementals are there to assist you at this time. And you're going to say, well, how, Carol? How, when I'm in the heated moment and someone is screaming at me? How in the world can I call on a fire element? Well, you can simply at that moment step back and visualize the fire element in your mind. You can ask the fire elementals to come around you. This would be the fire fairies, the salamanders. You can call them the jinn, which would be the fire patrons. You can call Jin in, who is the monarch of the Fae. You can call dragons in, who are of the fire element. You can call the phoenix in, who is in the fire element. All of these beings, and there are more than I just mentioned, can come to you within the moment of a thought and can literally supply you with whatever you need to navigate that moment. So I want you to think about that. Because I'm working with fire right now, I'm extremely dry. So here we go. Just a little bit to keep me going. So the properties of fire, beyond that combustibility, is of expansiveness. They want you to know in fifth dimension, of transformation and transmutation. So taking that fiery exchange you're having with someone and literally transmuting it into a learning experience. What happened? What was said to trigger you in that moment that suddenly made that combustible, fiery response within your breast? Or, on the other hand, was it something you said that created that combustible, fiery response in another person? Or is it you viewing something? You're walking outside in town and something happens and you feel that rising within you. Is it a trigger that can be soothed or transmuted with fire fae, fifth dimensional fire, with the dragons, with the phoenix? Can these beings come in and help you transmute it? All right. The other properties of fire that really have been with us for a while, but are augmented as we move into these higher dimensional energies are the spirituality of sexuality and its great fiery presence when active in our life, and also the fires of spirituality. And that can be your passion for your spirituality and the way you share it in the world. Now, they're wanting me to govern you in this after I say that, because in fifth dimension, it is not for us to force our fiery spirituality upon another. We can share what we are doing when someone asks and be role models and leaders. And that is the form of spiritual passion and fieriness that we are speaking about right now. People see you, they see that your life is actively working in a much more smooth, congruent way than perhaps their method of working, which might still be very 3D. And now they're running up against walls because we're fourth dimensional. So it is for us to be actively open and watching and observing to see how we can best serve others. It's not to force feed our teachings, it's to have it there and available and teach by example, is what is being shown right now. They want me to just basically speak a little bit more and reacquaint people with the fire fairies. And then we'll lead into, if anyone wants to know about dragons, a little bit about dragons, and then most particularly the phoenix. So the fire fae, as I mentioned, this can be a review for some, or if you're brand new to this channel, or just tuning in because it looked like something that might be interesting to watch. Fire fairies are energy beings. sent by the divine to act as an guardian to an animal, a plant, a flower, a rock, a tree, or in this case, the element itself of fire. And once again, this is fire as not a destructor, but a transformational element. For truly, out of a fire's depths, once the fire has dissipated, comes new life, because anything that has been burned goes into ash, and that is great fertilizer for the earth. And then up out of that comes the new growth. And once again, this is very much the metaphor for the phoenix herself. So the fire fae are active within this element. They are here to inspire us, to help us understand how we can literally work with the fire by gazing into it and receiving the codes of the fire. So you can do this many ways. You can do this with a candle flame. You can do this by staring at the sun and receiving the divine sun codes. You can do this by staring into a blazing campfire, a smaller fire that you might have in a fireplace, or a cauldron, or something that you use to burn things in. Each of these different kinds of fire will allow you to connect with the element and to begin to read it and receive those codes from the fire fae, from the element of fire itself. Now, fire will always have communication for you. So if you watch to see how the flames are moving, you will understand divinely what it is telling you. For example, if you're thinking of a thought, you're wondering about, perhaps you're being guided to move. Is this location a good location for me to move? Staring at the fire of a candle, of a fireplace, any kind of fire, ask that question in your mind. What kind of response do you receive? Is the fire very, what they're saying is steady in its hypnotic movement, its undulation? Is it suddenly aggressively moving up like a spark, a leap upward? Is it bending to one side or the other? As you determine how that fire is moving and communicating to you, read into the sensations, the emotions you receive from it. What is it telling you? Is this a very passionate fire that is leaping up because it is telling you that love is approaching you, a divine counterpart? Is it bowing to the right and therefore saying that something is on its way to manifesting? Is it bowing to the left, beginning to manifest? Is it full force, undulating up like this, steady and manifesting? These are the ways that I often interpretate fire, but it really is for you to stare into that fire and receive how the fire and the fire fae will communicate with you. They also want me to mention, I've done this quite a bit on this channel, but for anyone that's new, about dragons. They are fire elementals, although they are also aligned to the other elements, depending on the dragon of earth, air, and water as well. The fire dragons are very, very keen at helping us clear past karma, past things that are stuck, ideas, paradigms that are stuck within our being in the chakra system. And they can literally, with the dragon's breath, blaze those into the transmuted state with their fire. The phoenix, who we are going to work with now the most, is the most, she's least understood. That's what's coming through. Simply because she, even more than dragons and fairies, has been labeled as a legend as opposed to an actual spirit being of fire. So I want you to take that in. For me, as I said, she really this year started appearing during the new moon, which was last week. I was here at Anahata doing a new moon ceremony with one of the shamans here. It was a very beautiful ritual we were doing in a medicine circle, medicine wheel. And as we faced to the east, the beautiful phoenix appeared and was part of that ritual. And she has stayed with me ever since, wanting me to teach about her medicine, her power. So, like the fire fairies, she is all about transmutation of the old, those things that are no longer working for you, and literally transforming them through the death and rebirth process into a new life for you. So this is a grand reawakening that we're speaking about. As I said, this is making me very dry working with these fire elementals. All right, so what I would like to do is call the phoenix forward for each of us. So I would like you to make yourself very, very comfortable. Place your feet flat on the floor. And I would like you to grow silver roots from your feet into the Earth Star chakra, the silver chakra about a foot below your feet. And we feel all the presence, the stability of Gaia, the earth fairies, and Archangel Sandalphon, who is in charge of this chakra, grounding us right now. And yes, I am going to guide you to Avalon. I've been asked to do that. So if you will take my hand as gatekeeper, I will guide you through the veil of mist today into Avalon. We go directly to the Crystal Temple, and we are directly beneath the open, you may call it a sunroof, I'm not sure what they call it, the open roof there in the cathedral, or the temple, excuse me. And we are looking at the blazing sun. And as you gaze up at that sun with soft vision, Morgan and the sisters are approaching, and most particularly Glitania of the Fire Fae. And she is the one who is calling forth the phoenix for us. And what she is doing is literally with her fingertips weaving the phoenix to, what would you call it, visual form directly before us. She's reiterating that, like all Fae, the phoenix is an energy being that is aligned to an element. So she is energy first and now literally being woven into form. And as you see this beautiful firebird literally coming into being before you, I would like you to stare into her eyes and gain her wisdom, her insight, and her intuition. What is it this powerful, beautiful being has to share with you today? Litany, I want you to breathe this in. And realize that this indeed is now part of your being, which you may call upon at any time. Now the phoenix is going to enact her ritual before us, and you are guided to join in if you feel so inclined. She is pulling together all kinds of nesting material that are being offered by the Sisters of Avalon. And as she makes this incredible nest of kindling, she begins to dance in a circle, her beautiful fiery feathers literally beginning to catch stronger and stronger fire blazing as she whirls around. And she is beckoning us to join in, so if you feel like it, you may whirl around with her. Allowing yourself to feel free-flowing no matter what has been going on in your life. Allow these fires to transmute that right now as you whirl around that circle with the phoenix. She is saying she is here to help all of us transmute that which does not serve. And I don't know about you, but I am blazing hot. I am on fire. And round we go. And you see, as this dance comes to its fever pitch, the phoenix is completely engulfed in fire. She is now standing in the center of the circle. And if you wish to partake in this sacred burning, step up and become a part of it. Allow yourself to catch fire and be completely cleansed, renewed, and reborn. Feel incredible energy flowing through you, heat, magic, passion of the fire itself. And now as the flames die down, you feel yourself becoming one with the ash, And it is a sense of completion, of peace that the phoenix feels at this moment. And then up out of those ashes comes the tiny baby phoenix. And you feel yourself reaching up out of that ash. And you see the baby phoenix, and you feel yourself with that phoenix literally stretching forth your wings as the phoenix flies up into the air and becomes one with the sun. And if you are so guided, follow the phoenix up, up, up. And literally smile, be filled with that intense joy of being reborn, of transmuting all those fiery, angry, fierce energies out of your being. And now you are brand new, newly awakened with the phoenix and the fire elementals. And now I would like to thank Morgan and the sisters, Litany of the Fire Fae, for grounding us and assisting us in this beautiful, I would call it a ritual and activity. And want to thank the Phoenix herself. Let's thank Jin and the Fire Fae, the dragons. And indeed, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. It's a wonderful time to be alive. And anytime you need to return to this ritual, please feel free to do so. The fairies are guiding me to remind you that I have wonderful classes coming up. This weekend, I have one more class that is the Fairy Whisperer certification class. And then I also next weekend have the Magic of Mermaids, which is brand new, and the Magic of Dragons, which is a beloved class that is coming back one more time. And then for the last Sunday of the month of January is the Magic of Mountains, which is brand new. And I'll be giving that class in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. It's right before I'm moving, so I'm taking advantage of that mountain energy before I move on to my next locale. So thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. Please check out my website, carolweekland.com. You can find all my wonderful books there, my classes, fairy readings, Avalon readings, and so much more. Hope you all have a very magical day. Fairy blessings.